1 and the newest Tigers off to a good start in the Old English D. Victor Martinez had a big road trip homering in New York and Baltimore, and yesterday in front of the home crowd for the first time, Victor Martinez came through a bases-loaded double in the first inning. It got the Tigers off and running, and it got them their first home victory of the year. Welcome to Comerica Park on a cool night for baseball here in the Motor City. Game 2 featuring the Kansas City Royals and the Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us for the middle game in this series. The Tigers offense, Rod, starting to roll a little bit in the last 3 games. Starting to see the offense we expected just about mid-season form right now.
Well, I mean, they've got a lot of professional hitters in that lineup. We know that Maglio, Cabrera, and also Victor Martinez, career 300 hitters. The latter third of the batting order, they've been getting it done as well, but they need to get Jackson and Rhymes going, the table setters, if they're going to be as efficient as they really want to be.
All right, now the Tigers had high hopes for their starting rotation, obviously still do. Phil Koke will get his first big league start this season for the Tigers. Of course, he started last year at the end of the year in Baltimore. What are you looking for from Phil Koke tonight?
Well, I want him to go out there with the same kind of energy that he came out of the bullpen with. Not necessarily running onto the field, but the same kind of energy. Go hard as long as you can. He's got a good fastball. He's got a nice little slider. He also has a nice changeup. He started working on that changeup very late last season. He started throwing a whole lot more of them because he had an idea he might start this year for Detroit. 74 games last year, just 1 start. He pitched career high in innings. Earned run average, not bad. I think Phil will be just fine in that rotation.
And so Koke will take his turn tonight here for the Detroit Tigers. One of the obstacles in the Kansas City lineup is Billy Butler, their cleanup man. A 20-game hitting streak against Detroit in his career. Now, Billy Butler is just, well, he's a tough out.
Well, he's kind of hard to stop, too. He's 2 for 2 in his career against Phil Koke. So really, if you're Phil Koke and Billy's up there in a situation where the game means something and he can do some damage, you really want to pitch around him. He's got a nice little toe tap. He gets himself to a really nice balanced position. He drives the ball from foul line to foul line. That's how he hits 300. And if you make a mistake, he can hit the ball in the seats. So Billy's just an outstanding hitter that you really want to maneuver your way through if you can. Don't let him beat you.
All right, now you might notice Rod and I are wearing some pins. It's Stand Up to Cancer, which is a Fox initiative which is designed to accelerate cancer research. We'll talk a little bit more about that as the broadcast continues here tonight. But in the meantime, Tigers and the Royals, game 2 in the series. Let's go back to the Call Sam Studios now, and here's Ryan Field.
Good, boys.
Now the sights and sounds of opening day in the Motor City yesterday here in Detroit. It turned out to be a nice day. The Tigers put all the fans, well, they let them go home happy yesterday with a victory over the Royals in Game 1 of the series. Sellout crowd last night. Chilly night for baseball here tonight, but a good gathering nonetheless. By the way, if Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you'll score yourself a free small order of curly fries. You can find a copy of the box score in your local newspaper or at the Tigers page at foxsportsdetroit.com. And now we'll check out the starting lineup for the visiting Kansas City Royals, presented today by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Chris Getz will lead it off. He'll play second base. Melky Cabrera is in center field, followed by Alex Gordon in left. Billy Butler is cleaning up the designated hitter. Kila Kaihue is at first base. Jeff Francoeur is in right, and the bottom three for Ned Yost, Wilson Betemit, Brian Pena, and Alcides Escobar.
Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively behind Phil Koke in his major league start of the season here. You got Inge at third, Peralta is at short, Rhymes in the infield at second, Cabrera he's over at first, Rayburn, Jackson, Wells in the outfield, Victor Martinez he is the catcher today, putting down the signs for Phil Koke.
And speaking of Mr. Koke, here's our scouting report on Phil. It is presented today by Ace Hardware.
Well, a new year for Phil Koke and also a new role. Majority of his appearances since coming to the major leagues have been out of the bullpen. He features a fastball in the low 90s. He also has a nice little slider and a changeup, which he'll like to use against the right-handers. And with the new year, the new role, he also needs to have a new mentality, and that's to go out there today and go as hard as he can, as long as he can. Don't try to pace yourself.
All right, so Phil Koke trying to make that transition from the bullpen to the starting rotation. He talks about the differences between the two.
Not the adrenaline rush that you get out of the bullpen, and there's a sustained duration of time that you're out there. I mean, and it's all performance based anyways. I mean, especially out of the bullpen, like if you're lights out, you know, the likelihood that you're going to get pulled out of a game that's tight when the situation calls for you to be out there is very minimal. But as a starter, you know, you get to be out there for an extended period of time, and you know, you get to go to work and see what you got.
You know, one of the things that might help Phil here today is the fact that when he was with the New York Yankees his first couple of years, the majority of his appearances were as a starting pitcher. So it's not foreign to him, and I think he'll be just fine because he also has 3 pitches, with the changeup being very, very important for a lot of starters that aren't overpowering.
And Phil Koke had an opportunity in spring training to pitch in the rotation. Of course, he started the year in the bullpen because of the days off. The Tigers did not need their 5th starter, and so they decided to put Koke in the pen. But here he is in the rotation now and ready to face the Kansas City Royals tonight here at Comerica Park. Chris Getz will lead it off for the Royals. The Tigers won the opener in this series yesterday in front of the sellout crowd, 5-2. And now game 2 tonight in this 3-game series. Getz, Cabrera, and Alex Gordon here for Kansas City in the first inning. Lights are on here at the ballpark. 46 degrees our game time temperature tonight. Here's the windup by Koke, and tonight's first pitch. Getz had himself a nice ball game yesterday. It was 3 out of 4, including a double. And he'll try and get it started tonight for the Royals. Here's Koke's 1-0 pitch. Way high, 2 balls to no strikes.
Inge really crowding Getz at third. At the cut of the grass, he has speed, and all the other infielders also playing a little closer than they normally would play against the guy that doesn't run the way Getz does.
Ball 3, 3-0 on Chris Getz.
You can see Peralta and Rhymes. Normally they would be at the cut of the grass, but they're about 3 steps in front of the cut of the grass.
And there's the strike call on Getz. Chris Getz off to a fine start this year. He's hitting .391. He's knocked in a couple of runs. And he takes ball 4, so the leadoff man is on for Kansas City. Well, there have been a few guys that have gone from the bullpen to the rotation. And there are some pretty big names on that list there.
Yes, there are some pretty good names, and all those guys have made the transition very smoothly.
Adam Wainwright, of course, having a lot of success With the Cardinals, Derek Lowe, several different stops. Here is Melky Cabrera. And he takes strike one.
If you weren't with us yesterday, we told you that this Kansas City Royals team under their manager Ned Yost is playing a very aggressive brand of baseball. They like to steal bases. They have 14 steals on the season, which leads the American League. But Koke should slow some of that down. Being left-handed, they can't get the same kind of jump they would get against a right-hander.
Getz has a couple of steals this year. He was picked off in the ballgame yesterday.
And Victor Martinez also behind the plate today. Not necessarily known for throwing, but boy, does he wield a big, big bat.
Alex Avila getting the night off tonight, at least at the start. Here's the 0-1 to Cabrera. And a bouncing ball to short. This should be two. There's one. Rhymes for the relay. And there's two. 6-4-3. That should settle down Mr. Koke.
Looks like Peralta and Rhymes are starting to get awfully comfortable up the middle. Nice little feed right at the chest. Rhymes takes very little time getting the ball across the diamond to the big fella.
That's a good point. They played a little bit together last season toward the end of the year, but really in spring camp, Rod, the Tigers were giving everybody a chance at second base, and now these two have kind of settled in here.
And it's always nice to get there and take some ground balls and kind of see where you like your feeds if you're the shortstop or the second baseman.
Here's Alex Gordon with 2 outs.
Even with the left-handed Koke on the mound today. Ned Yost still batting Alex Gordon in that number 3 hole.
Wave and a miss, and quickly 0-2.
That's a pitch that's going to be very effective for him. Same arm speed as the fastball, but a really good curveball located down and away. Actually, a slider.
Way inside and high. When the Tigers first picked up Phil Koke in that deal a couple of off seasons ago with the Yankees, there was a thought that he would be pitching at some point in the rotation. They felt he could based on their scouting reports and the fact that he did do it in the minor leagues with the Yankees, but he was so effective out of the bullpen last year and really had a terrific season.
I think had not Bobby C gone down with the injury that he had last year in spring training, they probably would have taken a much longer look at Phil possibly being a starting pitcher last year. But Jim Leyland quickly realized without Bobby C in that bullpen, they needed that left-hander out there, and Koke had the experience.
Yeah, and he stepped in and did a great job. C, of course, had a couple of really good seasons here in Detroit. The 1-2 is rolled foul. Just underway here at the ballpark. Melky Cabrera has just bounced into a double play. Alex Gordon was 2 out of 4 in the ball game yesterday, including a walk. Billy Butler waiting on deck for KC. Now the 1-2. Got him. He went around, couldn't hold up. And Koke answers a leadoff walk with a double play ball and a strikeout of Alex Gordon. Comerica Park. We'll check out the Tigers batting order presented by Big Boy. Austin Jackson at the top as usual. Will Rhymes will follow, then Maglio Ordonez. Cabrera cleaning up, then Martinez and Rayburn. In your bottom three features Peralta, Inge, and Wells. Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on Bruce Chen. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Well, he very much is the definition of a crafty left-hander. He will throw you a variation of different pitches, all of which are under the speed limit. Very rarely will he touch 85 miles an hour, and he's also well-traveled. Chen has pitched with 10 different major league clubs.
Unfortunately, the speed limit 70 miles an hour in some points in some roads, but still under that. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jackson.
He has kind of had to reinvent himself. I mean, he drops down to different arm angles. He'll try to knock you off the plate inside on occasion, but for the most part, he's not going to challenge you with fastballs inside.
1-1. Bruce Chen, 33 years of age, out of Panama City, Panama. We've seen him a lot. Pitched quite a few ball games last year against Detroit. Had pretty good success. Jim Leland was looking over the numbers, and there are a lot of guys. Now, there are a few that have had good numbers against him, but there are a lot of guys that have really struggled against Chen. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fouled away.
Skipper also gave us the reason why he has some of those guys in the lineup that have struggled against Chen. As he said, he figures they're due.
That's the positive way of looking at it. No question about it. Here's the 2-2 again, and it's high. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Jackson. Austin 1 out of 5 in the opener yesterday.
You know, one of the things that Jackson obviously wants to improve on this year is do a little bit better against left-handed pitching.
Got him, strike 3. Chen threads the needle on the inside part of the plate.
That's really the last pitch you're looking for from Bruce Chen, with 2 strikes. And apparently he froze Jackson on the inner third.
Foxtrack says, Didn't matter, though. Home plate umpire Andy Fletcher says strike 3, 1 gone. That'll bring up Will Rhymes. Rhymes at 182, had a couple of hits to raise that average a bit yesterday. Also made a nice defensive play late in the game, which helped out the cause for the Tigers. Here's the 0-1. One thing we know Rhymes can do is put the ball in play. Very rarely will he strike out. Last year at AAA, he struck out once every 12 plate appearances, which was one of the best marks in the International League. Can run, can bunt. And now trying to seize advantage here of an opportunity that has arisen at second base with the injury to Carlos Guillen. And Chen hits the outside corner, 2-2.
That's where he likes to live. Very seldom will he throw anything over the heart of the plate. If he does, he knows it's going to be a very short afternoon. And he's got decent control.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. Nice backhanded play by Getz.
Well, you know, Getz is at second base, but let's take a look at the remainder of the Kansas City Royals defensively. It's presented by Tim Hortons. Gordon, Cabrera, and Francoeur are in the outfield. Betemit, Escobar on the left side of the infield. Kila Kahue over at first base. And Pena is behind the plate today. Nice play here. Surrounds it, throws off that back foot, which gives him a little bit more velocity on the throw to throw out Will Rhymes, who can run, as you mentioned.
Here is Maglio Ordonez with 2 outs. 1 for 2 yesterday before departing the game. And he bounces this one to third. Fielding to his left is Betemit. And the Tigers go quickly and quietly against Bruce Chen. A 1-2-3 inning. We go to the second at Comerica. to you by Comerica Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. By Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. And by Arby's Junior Buffalo Chicken Sandwich. New to Arby's value menu. Hurry, available for a limited time only. A little bit cool here tonight at the ballpark, but a nice night nonetheless. 47 degrees our game time temperature. Tiger fans all bundled up this evening. And Phil Koke back to the hill as he faces Billy Butler, Keila Ka'aihue, and then Jeff Francoeur. Koke got a big double play ball in that first inning and faced the minimum 3 batters, but now he has to deal with Butler, who yesterday was 2 for 4. And off to a .385 start. I mentioned this at the top of the telecast today. 2 balls, no strikes.
He must have went to his mouth while on the mound.
Yep. And the umpire looking up to the press box signaling, and now the Tiger skipper Jim Leland jawing at Andy Fletcher. He must have been on the rubber because I think you can do it while you're on the mound. That rule was changed last year, wasn't it?
I believe you're right. I'm sure you're allowed to blow on your hands today.
Well, let's take another look. Yeah, he was on the slab. And then he stepped off. Can't do that.
Too late.
Coke tried to get away with one.
Yeah, he did.
Looked down. Pushed the hair aside.
Feet not quick enough.
3-1.
Very dangerous count here if you decide to throw Butler a fastball. You know he's going to put it in play somewhere.
And he lost him. So for the second straight inning, a leadoff walk for Kansas City. 1 on, nobody out, and here is Keila Ka'aihue.
Ned Yost is going to give Keila every opportunity to siege that first base job. Off to a slow start from a batting average standpoint, but he had a very good spring. And Ned Yost knows the young man can hit, just wants him to relax a little bit and have a little fun.
Well, you talk about that spring, and Ka'aihue knocked in 20 runs this spring and hit .397. So you talk about showing you can play, and now it's just a matter of doing it in the regular season.
He's got nothing else to prove in the minor leagues. He has manhandled minor league pitching.
Here's the 0-1. And I guess if you're a player that has manhandled minor league pitching and you have not quite yet been able to do it at the big league level, you, I guess, still have to prove you're not one of those proverbial 4A players.
Good point.
But as you mentioned, Ned Yost really believes in this kid. In fact, he scouted him last year when Ned was in the front office before he took over as the manager of the team. And he saw him in AAA. And he liked what he saw. There's a wave and a miss. Ka'aihue is the second strikeout victim for Phil Koke.
Phil Koke, for the most part last year, the majority of his work was done out of the bullpen, and he dominated left-handed hitters. Left-handed hitters didn't do a whole lot against Koke, and he's already thrown a few breaking balls in this game that have been dandies. Look at Foxmo giving us a real nice look at it.
Foxmo in midseason form.
And his breaking ball is not a true slider. It's more of a slurve in between a slider and a curveball.
Here's Jeff Francoeur. Francoeur was hitless yesterday. He homered on opening day for the Royals.
When Francoeur came up with the Atlanta Braves as a rookie, they thought he was going to be a star in their uniform for years to come. Ned Yost at that time was the third base coach for the Atlanta Braves, so he had a really nice view of the damage that Francoeur was doing young in his career.
Bouncing ball back up the middle and right by Peralta into center field. They will hold the runner at second base as Butler gets there and comes up gimpy a little bit. Billy Butler may have done something rounding the bag. He's looking into his dugout right now.
Phil Koke just missed that one himself.
So Koke got the ground ball, but it was hit right past him and right back into center field. 2 on for Wilson Betemit. Switch hitting third baseman getting an opportunity to play. Mike Aviles has been slumping. Aviles off to a 3 for 26 start, so Ned Yost has given Betemit an opportunity.
Betemit hit well last year for Ned Yost when he took over for Trey Hillman.
And I would imagine that's fresh on his mind. I mean, when he took over last year, a guy that comes through for you, he started the year in minor leagues and really finished with a flurry last year.
That's right.
0-1 on Betemit. One ball and one strike. Betemit doubled in the ball game yesterday. Last season knocked in 43, hit 13 home runs. Here's the 1-1. Tigers check in tonight at 3-4. The Royals at 4-3.
First couple of swings that Betemit has taken against Koke. Looks like he's trying to hit the ball to right field. His batting average sitting at .214 right now, which means he's not been getting a lot of hits. And therefore, to get yourself out of a little mini slump, you try to work the other way and up the middle.
Two and two. Brian Pena would be next. Royals have a couple of switch hitters toward the bottom of their lineup. Betemit and Pena. And the 2-2. It's fouled away again, back into the seats. Inning started with Butler walking after Ka'aihu'e struck out. Francoeur singled him to second, so those are your Royal runners right now. And again the 2-2. Lofted right by Brandon Inge into left field, a base hit. Butler coming around third. They're going to send him home. Rayburn's throw to the plate is high. The tag not in time. Ryan had trouble getting the ball out of his glove. Otherwise, they probably nailed Butler at the plate. Betemit will take second on the throw.
Breaking ball that kind of stays up. Betemit was out in front, but not able to get enough of it. Eddie Rodriguez gambling with the very strong arm of Ryan Rayburn. But I think you nailed it, partner. Had Rayburn gotten this ball out of his glove cleanly, there's no way that Butler makes it home safely. It's also good base running by Betemit, who read the throw from Rayburn coming over the head of Brandon Inge, able to get himself down to second base in scoring position. It's good base running.
Royals catch a break there. And if Rayburn comes up with it cleanly, I don't think it's even close at home plate, but they get a run in.
That kind of validates what we heard about this Kansas City Royals team that Yost told in the very first day of spring training. I want to be the best base running team in spring training, and it's kind of carried over during the regular season because usually they don't gamble right there with Billy Butler trying to run right in the face of Ryan Rayburn, who has a good arm from left field.
Yeah, a very, very aggressive move. But they certainly are anything but a station-to-station team. 1-0 on Brian Pena. Wave and a miss. 1-1.
It's pretty good changeup here by Phil Koke. Real good arm action, arm speed. And this ball just kind of fades away from Pena.
Koke last year established a career high with 74 appearances out of the Detroit bullpen. And the 64 2/3 innings he threw were also a career high at the major league level, at least. That'll go foul, third base side. 1-2 on Pena. Trainer caught the ball game yesterday. Pena gets tonight's game behind the dish. He's got Francoeur at third base, and he has Betamit at second. Royals lead 1-0 on the RBI hit by Betamit. Koke last year got off to a really good start of the month of April, had an ERA that was under 2. Pitching out of the Tigers' pen. Blocked by Martinez, holding the runners right where they are.
He's already had to block a couple. And that gives Koke confidence to throw that pitch with a runner on third base, knowing that your catcher will get dirty for you and keep it in front of him. He's already thrown Pena a lot of breaking balls. And now may be the time to control your fastball in a good area, get a swing and miss.
Again down to block it, Martinez. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So the count is full now on Brian Pena. Last year Pena pretty much backed up Jason Kendall. And Koke ready now with the 3-2 pitch. He lost him, ball 4, and Koke now has picked up 3 early walks in this game. And that's going to bring Jim Leland out. Not Rick Knapp, but Jim Leland. Two walks in this inning, couple of hits as well. They have him loaded with only 1 out. So the conversation, a one-sided conversation, continues. Here's a list of the most appearances with 1 career start. Some guys that have pitched at the back end of games.
Matt Thornton, he is struggling a little bit as the new closer for the Chicago White Sox in the month of April. He's already blown a couple of saves for them. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to pitch the 7th and 8th innings, but it's a whole different animal when you're pitching the 9th inning. There's no one behind you.
Well, here's the number 9 hitter now, Alcides Escobar, with the bases full. Escobar batting just 188. Ball 1. Escobar was hitless in the ball game yesterday. Here's the 1-0. Bouncing ball towards short. Peralta fires to second, one relay. Not in time. Escobar with too much speed. Not a tailor-made double play ball. Francoeur will come around to score, and it's 2-0 KC.
Well, Phil got the ground ball that he was looking for, but Johnny had to go about 3-4 steps to his right, which meant there was really not going to be a play at first base for Will Rhymes.
So the inning is still alive. That is the 3rd RBI of the season for Escobar. 2-0 KC. Here's Chris Getz. He walked to start the game. Later he raced on a double play. Strike 1 to Getz, who last year had to deal with symptoms from a concussion. It seems to be an injury now that is being more and more talked about and reported. The 0-1. Bouncing ball right side. Rhymes will have this one. And so the Royals will settle for 2 runs. They leave a couple of runners. We go to the bottom of the second. As we go to the bottom of the second, vote for your Tigers McDonald's player of the game, presented by the Quarter Pounder with cheese. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space and the player's uniform number to 37338, or you can vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Final results coming up on Tigers Live after the game tonight. Bruce Chen back to work, has himself a 2-0 lead now. It'll be Cabrera, Martinez, and Rayburn.
He may as well walk Cabrera because he really can't get him out. Cabrera does major damage in his career against Bruce Chen.
He has taken him deep 3 times.
And the batting average is 571. And a lot of those hits are extra base hits. So the contact to damage ratio is off the chain.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Cabrera in yesterday's game was hit by a pitch. He walked, scored a couple of runs.
I thought he hit a ball that was going to get out of here yesterday too, but it didn't.
And he crushed it. He also was hit on the hand and then banged his knee against the tarp down the right field line, chasing a foul pop. Here's the 2-2. 3-2 on Miguel Cabrera.
He might just go back in there again. It's really the last pitch that Cabrera's looking for, and if he really wants to get him out by throwing a strike, it's better to try to locate your fastball than hanging something soft.
Full count pitch. And he got him in the outside corner, strike 3. So Cabrera is down on strikes, the second of the ball game now for Chen.
He has 2 strikeouts on fastballs. He struck Jackson out with a fastball inside. This time he drops down a tailing fastball that may have been off the plate as well. Andy Fletcher has been very, very generous this afternoon for Bruce Chen. But Chen kind of needs some generosity.
There's Victor Martinez. Picking at the corners has worked out so far for Chen. He struck out Jackson, struck out Cabrera. Now Martinez, who had a big day yesterday.
Last year, Victor hit 400 against left-handed pitching, which was the highest batting average in the American League against left-handed pitchers. A cool 400.
And he ingratiated himself to his new fans here in Detroit by, in his first at bat, clearing the bases with a double.
Yeah, he did.
Heard the cheers, and he was off and running after that. The 2-0. 3-0 on Martinez. He has had 3 at-bats against Chen in his career. 2 hits in those 3 at-bats. Rayburn waiting on deck. And Martinez takes a walk on 4 pitches.
Didn't look like he wanted anything to do with Martinez there.
First walk and first Tigers base runner here today.
If you're the Tigers right-handed hitters, your approach against Chen, because the fastball very seldom reaches 85 miles an hour, you need to be thinking about hitting the ball to right field, hitting the ball up the middle. If he makes a mistake up in the strike zone your hands are quick enough to where you can turn on that ball because the velocity is not that high. But you have to have an approach of hitting the ball the other way.
Rayburn at 267. He has homered a couple of times in his career against Chen. That'll go foul down the third base line. No balls, 2 strikes on Rayburn.
It's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. And when you try to pull him, you're simply going to roll over because you're going to be out in front of him. It's a hanging breaking ball that Rayburn kind of rolled off of it with the front shoulder.
This time he went outside trying to set him up on 0-2 and he missed.
Well, you got to give Chen some credit. He's a smart pitcher out there. He has realized that Andy Fletcher has a very generous strike zone here today, so he's going to push the limits as far as he can. Can't blame him for that.
Tipped into the glove. That's strike 3. Third strikeout for Chen. 2 away. What Kenny Rogers used to say, you go out there and you go out there a little further and you keep going out there until he stops giving it.
Absolutely. That breaking ball there actually had some pretty good depth to it.
There's Johnny Peralta with 2 outs. Skies this one high in the air to left field and hit deep. Gordon going back to the warning track. And he's under it now for the out. So the side retired. Tigers lead a man. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Town short-lived. They are now 1-7 after winning their opening day yesterday against the Yankees. Baltimore at 5-1 leads the way in the East.
Boston will be okay, though. They've got way too much talent, and it's way too early to count them out.
Here at Comerica Park tonight, it's 2-0 Kansas City as we go to the top of the third. Melky Cabrera leads it off against Phil Koke. Cabrera, Gordon, and Butler in the top of number 3. Double play ball for Cabrera in the first inning. In fact, in the first 2 games in this series, he's knocked into a first inning double play. Fouled back out of play. 0-2 on Cabrera. Signed as a free agent in December by the Royals. He had one of the walk-off hits the Royals have put up already this season. They've had a couple. Melky's came against Chicago on Tuesday in the 12th inning, and that was an ugly swing. 3rd strikeout for Koke.
He's got a pretty good breaking ball today. Now, he did give up a hit to Bettamy last half inning on a breaking ball, but Bettamy was fooled and out in front, but just got a piece of it for a base hit that drove in Billy Butler. But he's got some nice rotation with the breaking ball. And Foxmo going to give you a really nice look at it. You can see the grip. You can see it coming out of his hand as well.
The Panasonic Foxmo gives you an outstanding look. 1-0 on Alex Gordon with 1 out. Gordon struck out back in the first.
Did you get your new big screen TV from Panasonic?
I did, as a matter of fact.
They're nice, aren't they?
Oh, they're beautiful. In fact, if I could, I'd sit in front of it 24 hours a day. But that wouldn't be too productive, would it? That's driven in the air to center. And Austin Jackson is under it. 2 up, 2 down. He's going to bring up Billy Butler.
You're facing Billy Butler just the way that you want to, with nobody on base.
Walk and a run scored for Butler in his first at bat. He walked to lead off the inning. Scored on the hit by Bettamy. And he swings at the first pitch and drives it to center. Jackson is on the move, and he'll get there. A 6-pitch inning for Phil Koke. Much better here in the 3rd. Detroit is brought to you by AT&T and by your neighborhood Spartan stores. For locations, check out turntospartan.com. Back here in downtown Detroit, the Tigers and the Royals tonight head to the bottom of the 3rd. And Brandon Inge leads it off. 2-0 is our score. The Royals over the Tigers. Inge, Casper Wells, Austin Jackson. Brandon 1 for 4 in yesterday's game. Chen missing outside 1-1.
As deep as Betemeet is playing at third base, and the lack of success that Brandon has had against Bruce Chen, he may want to think about bunting.
1-2.
Brandon is 1 for 21 against Bruce Chen.
That's not a very high average, is it?
No.
The 1-2 pitch.
That's a bingo number.
048.
Yeah, it's got to be. Bingo.
Here's the 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. I know this. He's got one more hit against Chen in his career than I do.
That much he does.
Here's the 2-2 offering. Inge has hit safely in his last 3. Off to a nice start offensively this year. His average at 304. Foul away. Is it harder sometimes, Rod, to face a guy like Chen as opposed to the guys who throw 95?
There's no question about that, because you have to display some patience. You have to have really good plate discipline, because he really doesn't throw you a lot of strikes.
2-2, the count stays on Brandon.
He just picks on the corners, inside and outside. He'll elevate the fastball up. He'll go down at the bottom of the strike zone. And that's really the way that he has to pitch. He has to pitch that way, because if he gets the ball over the heart of the plate, these hitters here will do damage against him.
It was the 9th pitch in this at bat, and Inge will get another one.
Well, the way that he wants to get Brandon out is something soft. First couple of swings were very awkward for Brandon, and they were both little change-ups or breaking balls down and away.
Another foul back out of play. Somewhat reminiscent of the 12th pitch at bat that Will Rhymes had against the Orioles.
Doesn't happen all the time, but the advantage kind of sways toward the hitter when you see as many pitches as Brandon has seen in this at bat from Bruce.
He got him, tipped it into the glove for strike 3. 4 strikeouts for Chen.
Fastball up. It's a ball, but it looks awfully good at 84 miles an hour.
Here's Casper Wells making his first start. Showing bunt.
It's a good idea. Yeah. That's a great idea. He has not had a lot of success against Chen himself. Why not go for a base hit down third base? Especially if Betemeet is going to give it to you. There's lots of room down in that area.
Betemeet's still way behind the bag. Well, there you go. 0 for 7 with 3 strikeouts against Chen. Into center field, sinking, base hit. He is hitless no longer against Bruce Chen.
He hit it like Chen threw it.
Tigers have their first hit. Back to the top of the lineup now, Austin Jackson.
If you're Casper on first base, you have to be aware of the fact that Chen will bounce some breaking balls. So if he bounces one, you want to make sure you've got your momentum going towards second base, which would allow you to advance 90 feet.
Jackson, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Chen already has fanned 4. He struck out just 3 in his entire start against the Angels back on April 3rd.
They say he pitched on a miserable day in Kansas City. The wind was blowing out about 30 miles an hour.
And I think because of that, he ended up giving up 3 home runs, I believe, in that start.
He did.
Much different conditions here tonight. It is cool at 47 degrees. But not much of a breeze. Jackson 1 for 10 career against Chen. Bruce is 33 years old, born in Panama City, Panama. Had really a strange year last year. He was a non-roster invitee, and by the end of the year, he won a club high 12 games, and really proved valuable for them down the stretch. Now he continues to chase Wells back to the bag.
Well, the signs coming from the dugout, and Pena is getting it relayed to him. He is a catcher, and apparently they must feel like there may be a hit and run play on or something.
Jackson pops it in the air to shallow right. Francoeur is under it.
Hey fans, you can see the Tigers and the Royals tomorrow at 105. Celebrate opening weekend with lower baseline and upper box seats at half price and save up to $14. Half price tickets are available only at Tigers.com. So you've got to be a little computer savvy.
That's a small price to pay, though, isn't it?
It's a small price. How do I turn it on?
Here's Will Rhymes. Rhymes 0 for 1. He bounced out back in the first inning.
Is Jim using the computer yet?
I haven't seen it. I've been told that he is, but I haven't seen it.
You've been told that?
Yep. Jim's one of those guys that just does it his way, and computer is just not part of the way he does it. The 0-1. For the shortstop, the acrobatic Escobar. Scoop at first base by Ka'aiahue.
Nice play on both ends.
Inning over for the Tigers. No runs, a hit, bringing the books at Comerica. 2-0 KC.
Now, I've always faced him out of the pen or reliever in interleague and stuff like that. So, he's got great stuff. Obviously, 92, 93 out of the pen. It'll be interesting to see if he can sit that the whole game, or he tries to back off a little bit and move it a little more. So, I think for us, really, the game plan is just going to be try to feel him out the first couple innings and see what he does.
It's Jeff Francoeur, and Koke gave up a couple of runs in the second inning, but really rebounded nicely and had a 1-2-3 third.
And Francoeur brought up a great point. The fact that Phil threw 93, 94 out of the pen on occasion last year for the Tigers. Would he back off, trying to pace himself for the duration of the game, trying to get 6 innings in, which is exactly what Jim said he'd like to get out of him today, 6 innings.
It'll be Ka'aiahue, then Francoeur, and then Bedamit. 0-2 on Kila Ka'aiahue.
Looks like Victor likes to call lots of off-speed pitches. A lot more off-speed pitches than Avila does, but that just may be the game plan today.
Swing and a tip into the glove. Strike 3, and Ka'aiahue is out of there. 4 strikeouts for Koke.
Take a look at Victor's glove here. On the ground. Give it to me right there. It's a good leader. Koke gave it to him on the ground.
Here's Frank Coor. I'm assuming hitters can't pick that up out of the corner of their eye?
No. And the real good catchers, they're always looking at you. While they're giving signs, they're looking up at you to see if you're trying to peek out of the corner of your eye, trying to pick up where he's setting up, or possibly trying to see what the pitches are going to be.
1-1 on Frank Coor.
He used to be able to get away with kind of peeking a little bit, but now with so many cameras around and every game on television and so many different angles, you can't cheat that way anymore as a hitter.
The 1-1.
I mean, you used to kind of be able, as a right-handed hitter right now, if you're Frank Coor, after the catcher sets, you can kind of peek out of the corner of your eye, and if you don't see him, obviously you know he's inside. And if you can see him a little bit, then you know he's outside.
The 2-1. Right back to the mound. Koke stumbling toward first. 2 outs. He's going to bring up Betamit.
Here's what I'm talking about. Good catchers, when they're giving signs, they're looking up at the hitter to see what the hitter's doing. Ball down, but he wants to look up and let you know exactly what's going on.
Betamit takes ball 1.
You know what they say? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
That is for certain.
It ain't cheating if you don't get caught. Well, yeah, it is.
That's when it's cheating. Here's Inge on a play, and that is that. 1-2-3, go the Royals. Bottom of the 4th coming up. Martinez had the big hit early in the ballgame yesterday, which leads us to our AT&T trivia question. Prior to Martinez, who was the last Tiger to drive in 3 or more runs in their first home game with Detroit. You have to really think about this one. And we'll get you the answer in a little bit. In the meantime, here is Maglio Ordonez to lead it off. It'll be Ordonez, Cabrera, and then Martinez.
And we'll see if some of these Tigers hitters make an adjustment against Chen second time around.
Chen has surrendered 1 hit, the single to Casper Wells in the 3rd.
And Maglio grounded out to third base his first time up. Maglio very good at going the opposite way.
If there's one guy in this lineup that you would expect that would make that adjustment because that's part of his game plan, it would be Ordonez.
Yes, he likes to hit the ball between first and second. Therefore, Carl Hue at first base is well off that line.
The 0-2 up high, 1-2.
Most right-handed batters do not go down in that direction. Therefore, he's playing over there off the line, hoping that Maglio hits one right into the teeth of the defense.
He hit it to the right side, but in the air to Francoeur. First out of the inning. Here's a reminder, April in the D's lineup continues with a Tigers-Pistons doubleheader both tomorrow and Monday. For a complete April in the D telecast schedule, check it out online, foxsportsdetroit.com. Tigers and KC tomorrow, Pistons in Charlotte, and then on Monday, Tigers in Texas, Pistons and the Cavaliers. A lot going on. It's April in the D, so that's the norm around here.
Texas Rangers, one of the better offensive clubs in the major leagues.
Mark Reynolds is homered tonight for Baltimore. They lead Texas 4-0 in the third.
Texas has not lost yet. They got rained out yesterday.
They did. Here's Cabrera. High, towering fly ball, shallow left. Alex Gordon under it. And Chen cruising along, 2 outs. That'll bring up Victor Martinez. Texas the last undefeated team? Yeah, they are.
I believe they are.
In all of baseball. What do you make of that race out west? Do you think they're going to do it again?
Well, if the Angels don't perform a little bit better, I think Texas has a really good opportunity at repeating as the AL West champion. A lot of people talking about the Oakland Athletics and their pitching staff, but you got to hit a little bit too.
Here's the 0-1 to Martinez. Slap foul back out of play, 0-2. Victor walked in the second. Four-time All-Star is Martinez, who signed a 4-year contract in the offseason with Detroit, so he's going to be in the Old English D for a while. And there is strike 3 on the outer edge. He got him looking. 5 strikeouts for Mr. Chen. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers on our way to the 5th. And your answer would be Brian Johnson back in 1997 had 4 RBIs against the Twins. And that would have been at Old Tiger Stadium for Brian Johnson. Hit a 3-run home run that day. Yesterday, Martinez hit a 3-run double. Phil Koke going back to work now. Koke settling in nicely. He's retired 8 straight after giving up the 2 spot in the second. Tigers, however, have managed just one hit against Bruce Chen. Here's Brian Pena. He had a walk in the second. First pitch is sliced to center field. Jackson on the run. One out. Here's Alcides Escobar. Well, we've seen a couple of instances in this series, Rod, where this kid can really pick it down there at short. I guess the question is, can he hit at the big league level? But he's electric with the glove.
I was talking to Ned Yost in his office before the game, and they believe Escobar is going to hit.
And he bunts this one first base side. Trouble if it stays fair, and Koke does a nice job to get it in foul ground.
It's a smart play by Escobar. Usually the left-handed pitcher falls off toward the third base side of the rubber here. Let's see if Phil does that. Therefore, if you go down that line, you know the pitcher's going to have a tough time of getting to it and getting you out. But Koke wisely allowed that ball to go foul.
Escobar's ground ball drove in a run back in the first inning. A fielder's choice ground ball.
If you're Cabrera, and obviously you play first base here the majority of your games, you got to put that play in your memory bank to know that on a similar play in the future, that ball may have a tendency to go foul, so you may not have to pick it up. The field looks outstanding once again. Heather Nabozny and her grounds crew do a marvelous job at maintaining Comerica Park. It's grass.
Honestly, I wish my lawn looked like this in April.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Be the only one on the block. It does look spectacular.
Well, maybe you could get her secret from her. Maybe
I'll have to ask her tomorrow. The 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Then I'd have to cut it, though, and I don't want to do that until I absolutely have to.
You cut your own grass?
Yes, I do, Rod. Sure, I do. Chop to third. There's Inge. And so Koke now has retired 10 straight.
Come on now, you got 2 teenage boys at home.
For the purpose of this conversation, yes, I cut my grass.
Okay, I got it.
Here's Chris Getz. Getz 0 for 1 with a walk. There's a strike on Chris. Koke working quickly, and he misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's good observation. He's kind of picked up the pace a little bit. He was a little sluggish out there in the second inning where he gave up a couple of runs and wasn't efficient at throwing strikes. But he's made a nice adjustment.
I was about to ask you, what's he doing differently to get on this little run, and maybe that's it.
You nailed it, I believe.
1-2 on Getz. Here it comes. Got him. He went fishing. Another strikeout for Koke. That is his 5th. Another 1-2-3 inning. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. 2-0 is our score. Royals have the lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and Rayburn drops down a bunt. Pena pouncing on it, and Rayburn is out.
Great idea. We've already seen a couple of other Tigers fake like they were going to bunt as well. But Rayburn doesn't get it far enough from the catcher Pena, therefore he comes out and he picks the ball up and makes a strong throw to Kyle Huey down at first base. Ball had backspin on it, spun right back to Pena.
6 in a row retired by Chen. Strike one on Johnny Peralta. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Royals. The Tigers, no runs, 1 hit. Peralta flied out his first time up.
For whatever reason, Bruce did his best work on the road last year. He held opponents to a .225 batting average in 12 starts away from Kauffman Stadium.
I don't know. Would you consider Kauffman a hitter's park, a pitcher's park?
I think it's kind of turned in more of a hitter's park now with some of the renovations that they have there now.
Yeah. That'll head back in the seats.
They've kind of closed off everything, and the wind seems to blow out quite a bit now at Kauffman Stadium to left field.
1-2 on Peralta. Johnny was 2 out of 3 in the opener yesterday. Chen works home the 1-2. He got him to chase.
Tigers hitters are going to have to concentrate a little bit more.
2 gone. Hey, by the way, today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting for the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. We welcome you and thank you for your service to our country. 6 strikeouts for Chen as Inge steps in. He's retired 7 straight. The lone Tigers hit so far today. A single by Wells. That was back in the 3rd, and that has really been it. Chen also walked Martinez in the 2nd, but not too many opportunities so far.
And that wasn't hit all that hard by Casper. He hit it off the end of the bat. So he really hasn't given up a hard hit ball in this game.
The 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lifted toward right field, slicing, and foul. Chen last year had one of these stretches in a game he pitched against the Angels. He retired the first 18 consecutive batters, had a perfect game in that one, going through 6 innings. So he has been able to get on these rolls. He's on a roll here tonight, only 1 hit allowed. And a check swing, they want the appeal, and they're not going to get it. 3-2 on Brandon. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Wow. 7 strikeouts now for Chen. He's retired 8 straight.
Our bell tire pitch by pitch. I described Bruce Chin, the starter for the Kansas City Royals, as crafty, but Phil Koke has been crafty today himself. He has 5 strikeouts, all of which have come on the breaking ball and 1 changeup. In the swings that the Kansas City Royals hitters are taking on the breaking ball aren't pretty.
So it's been a pretty good matchup. The only difference is the 2 runs the Royals got against Koke in the 2nd inning. Melky Cabrera skies one toward left field. Rayburn, long run, still coming, and in foul ground he hauls it in. 1 pitch, 1 out.
He had to cover some real estate. You saw him take 1 quick peek to see where that fence was to make sure he had enough room to catch it and gather himself without tumbling into the stands.
Here's Alex Gordon showing bunt. Gordon hitting in the 3 spot in the lineup has pushed Billy Butler into the 4 hole.
Gordon had a great spring, and he really hasn't stopped hitting yet. Talking to Kevin Seitzer, the hitting coach, before the game, and Seitzer worked all offseason in retooling the swing of Gordon. They worked 3 times a week in Kansas City, and he was telling me today, Kevin Seitzer, was that he said for the first 3 weeks, he said it was no live BP. Everything was touch and feel work, direction to the ball, keeping your head down. And he said the one thing that he wanted to accomplish by doing so is he wanted a better fluid swing from Gordon.
Well, so much hype surrounded this young man when he came up out of Nebraska, was the top prospect for the Royals. And here are the spring training numbers you were talking about. 343 with 6 long balls.
Seitzer does a pretty nice job. This Royals team hit 274 last year. The only team in the majors with a higher batting average was the Texas Rangers.
Well, the other thing is Ned Yost was asked in spring training, well, why are you putting Gordon in the 3 spot? Why don't you protect him and bat him lower in the lineup? He said, if the kid can hit, he can hit. And he goes, I have the feeling that he can. He said, when I was in Milwaukee, I didn't protect Ryan Braun when he came up, and he turned out to be a pretty good hitter. He threw him in the 3 spot in the lineup. And he's one of the better hitters of the game.
It's a good point.
So, I mean, you can either do it or you can't, and they're giving this guy an opportunity.
That brings up what you hear a lot of really good hitting instructors say, that hitters are born. They're not made. They are born.
2-2 on Gordon. He's 0 for 2 in this one. Came in batting .394. Martinez blocks it, 3-2.
As good as the breaking ball has been today for Koke, it wouldn't be all bad to throw one here, 3-2.
In the air to right field. Casper Wells is there for the 2nd out. Time for a game break. Go back to the studio now. Here's Ryan Field. Thank you, Ryan. Runs have been tough to come by for the Tampa Bay Rays this year. I mean, really rough to come by. Here's Billy Butler.
And they had some very difficult news to digest yesterday with the Manny Ramirez retiring. It's a sad situation.
It is, when you consider what he has done in this game. That shot to right field, slicing to the corner, and that ball is foul.
It's sad because he will not be remembered for being one of the better right-handed hitters in the game of baseball. He's going to be remembered for cheating in a lot of people's eyes. But he was fun to watch. Awfully fun to watch.
When he hit in the middle of that Boston lineup, I know he had some good guys around him in Cleveland as well, some very good hitters. But boy, he and Big Papi, man, that duo was dynamite.
When he came up as a baby in that Cleveland Indians organization. He did a lot of damage in their uniform too.
Driven to left field. That ball is going to drop. Base hit. Rayburn cuts it off, and Billy Butler with a 2-out single.
I'm sure that's not the pitch that Phil wanted to make. Ahead in the count to no balls and 2 strikes.
It's going to send Butler's hitting streak to 21 straight against Detroit.
21 straight games?
Yeah, against the Tigers. Pretty impressive. See? That proves it. 381 in that span. Here's Ka'aihuwe.
I described the breaking ball that Koke is featuring today sort of in between a slider and a curveball. Doesn't quite have a big break to it, but doesn't really have that real tight spin that sliders have either.
Runner goes. Here comes Martinez's throw right in the bag. Got him. Butler is cut down by Victor Martinez. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 6th.
Making the first out of the last half inning, running down a pop-up off the bat of Melky Cabrera. Coors Light Freeze Cam, always brought to you by your Frost Brew Coors Light.
Well, it's about time for the Tigers to get the bats going. It's the bottom of the 6th inning here, 2-0. They've not been able to do anything, literally, against Bruce Chen, who has fanned 7. Casper Wells has the only Tigers hit. He leads it off and looks at ball 1.
It's a nice crowd here today for the second game of this series and the second home game of the year, but they have had nothing to cheer about yet.
See if we can change that here. Chen right now is just 2 strikeouts short of his career high. He has 7. And 9 is his career high. He's done that a couple of times. But that was back in 2000 and 2001. Two and 1 on Casper. Make it 2 and 2.
He just turns over the changeup, changes speed on the fastball. He's working on the edges. On occasion, he'll elevate the fastball, 2 strikes. Really only giving each hitter the Tigers have sent up there today 1 good pitch to hit per at bat.
Man, they've not been able to do much. They got a walk in the 2nd, a single in the 3rd, and that's it. He's retired 8 straight right now. Foul ground, first base side. Kaihue is there.
Hey fans, you want to see the Tigers play the American League champion Texas Rangers for half price this Monday through Wednesday? Each day at 105. Upper box seats are only $12, and lower baseline box seats are just $14. Available exclusively at Tigers.com.
Here's Austin Jackson. Right back to the mound. Is Chen in command or what?
Yes, he is.
10 in a row retired by the KC lefty. Here comes Will Rhymes. A couple of ground balls for Rhymes in this game, 0 for 2. Chen has thrown 77 pitches. Strike one on Will. Chen is on that long list of pitchers that has had to come back from Tommy John surgery. He had it performed back in 2007 and missed all of 2008. Missed it away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Had a pretty good spring. Was 3-1 this spring with an ERA 3.96. That's it back up the middle into center, and Rhymes has a base hit. 10 straight had been retired prior to that single by Will.
Real short, compact swing, and that's what you need against a guy that's a soft tosser. You wait to the last possible second and pull the trigger, and you don't try to hit it too hard.
Koke likes it. Let's get the offense going, he's thinking. Now all it takes is one swing of the bat from Maglio to tie this one up. Ordonez 0 for 2, ground ball, fly ball. And he drives one down the line and left. That is a fair ball. It'll go to the corner. Rhymes on his way to third. They're going to send him home. Escobar's relay to the plate is not in time. No, they're going to call him out. Did he tag him? He blocked the plate. I don't know if he tagged him. And Jim Leland is livid. He is saying he blocked the plate, but he didn't tag him. This will be interesting to take another look at. And we'll do that when we come back. It's close. The city, a bang-bang play at the plate. What do you think?
Well, Jim was very animated. He felt like Pena did not tag Will Rhymes, but Will Rhymes' hand actually hit the glove of Pena, but it looked like Pena really didn't have control of the baseball either. So this is a better look here. Will Rhymes' left hand is going to make contact with the glove like he's trying to push the ball out, and he almost was successful pushing the ball out of the glove.
That's a great replay right there. Rhymes touching the glove. The question is, did he have control of the baseball? And
didn't look like it.
Andy Fletcher said he's out. And Jim Leland came out and really put up a fight, but to no avail. And so we go to the 7th. Kila Ka'aihue will lead it off. So the score remains 2-0 KC. Francoeur and Benamit to follow. Phil Koke, 5 strikeouts in his effort tonight. He has scattered 3 hits. He has struck out Ka'aihue twice. Strike called, 1-2. Swing and a miss, and for the 3rd time, Ka'aihue goes down swinging. That is 6 strikeouts.
They are not picking that breaking ball up from Phil Koke in today's game. All the strikeouts have come on swings just like this one from Ka'aihue. Just about all of them.
Here's Francoeur. Francoeur tonight, a single and a ground out. Fouled away. No balls and 2 strikes. You take away that 2nd inning, Rod, and this is a really good outing here for Koke.
It is. Jim hoped to get 6 innings out of Phil.
They're going to say strike 3. Martinez going to have to run this one down, and they just got him at first base.
Nice play by Victor. Good hustle. And Francoeur probably could have gotten out of the batter's box a little quicker than he did.
No doubt.
If you feel like you're swinging, he knew he swung, but he kind of waited until the last possible second. He saw the call from Tim Welke down at first, but Victor jumped on that ball and threw a strike down to Cabrera.
That was a long throw for Victor.
Long run, too.
7 strikeouts for Koke. Here's Benamit.
Well, when they drew this one up, partner, yeah, you didn't think that it'd be 14 strikeouts in the game between Koke and Chin.
No, absolutely not. And both have had their moments of dominance in this one here tonight. Each team with 3 hits. The 1-1. Two runs, 3 hits for Kansas City. The Tigers, no runs, 3 hits. Benamit singled in a run in the 2-run second. The 2-1 pitch. 3-1. Robbie Weinhardt had been throwing in the Tigers bullpen. And he walked him. So with the 7 strikeouts come 4 walks. And it also brings out the skipper, Jim Leland. Well, Phil Koke gave himself a round of applause here, and deservedly so. He pitched himself a really good ball game here in his first start here in Detroit. And the fans appreciate it. nice job by Phil Koke. And he'll give way to the bullpen now. Robbie Weinhardt comes trotting in.
And when the team was in Baltimore, when Ryan Perry went on the disabled list, got himself in pretty good shape in the offseason after pitching in Puerto Rico in winter ball. He dropped about 20 pounds. And I didn't even recognize Robbie Weinhardt when I saw him in spring training.
I didn't either. Not at all, but he'll toe the slab right now in relief for the Tigers.
When he was at his best last year, and if you add up all his numbers, they don't look all that glamorous as far as the earned run average is concerned, but he threw some pretty good sinker balls and got quite a few ground balls.
Well, at the top of the telecast, we told you about the pins we were wearing. It's part of an initiative called Fox Sports Supports Charitable Initiative. It's Standing Up to Cancer. They support Stand Up to Cancer in their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. And those are the buttons we are wearing here tonight. For more information, please visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports. Standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports. And you get more information as Fox Sports does its part of Assault on Cancer. Here are the numbers on Robbie Weinhardt last season.
Yeah, the earned run average was over 6, but when he first came up, he was pitching some pretty good baseball. He struck out 21. He walked 8 in 29 in the third innings.
Brian Pena will be the first man to face him. 0 for 1. He had a base on balls back in the second. Weinhardt trying to keep this a 2-0 game. Benamit, the runner at first base. Another toss back to the bag. Robbie lives in Pearland, Texas in the offseason. Strike called on Pena. Robbie pitched his college ball at Oklahoma State. The 0-1 on the ground to second. Well, Rhymes has it there, and that is that. Weinhardt comes in, does the job, gets an out. Stretch time here at the ballpark. Nice job by Phil Koke.
Insurance. 6 2/3 of work this afternoon. Gave up 3 hits, just a couple of earned runs. He walked 4 and he struck out 7. His last start last year in Baltimore, the only big league start, just 1 2/3, gave up 5 hits. So he improved on that for sure and looked awfully good today, changing the eye levels. He worked primarily with off-speed pitches too.
Well, we have a new pitcher now for Kansas City as we go to the bottom of the 7th, and that would be the right-hander Aaron Crow.
Well, they're happy to see someone other than Bruce Chin, although Kansas City's bullpen has been a really bright spot this year for the pitching coach Bob McClure and the manager Ned Yost.
Cabrera takes a breaking ball away, 1-0. He'll be followed by Martinez and then Rayburn. 0 for 2 for Miguel. Strikeout, fly out. And a bouncing ball to third. Scooped up there by Betamit.
Hey fans, as soon as the game ends, our coverage continues with Tigers Live. We'll go to the clubhouse. We'll hear from the manager, Jim Leland, of course. And we'll talk to some players. Plus, we will show you all the highlights. Tigers Live from the Call Sam studios and here at the ballpark immediately after the game on Fox Sports Detroit.
So each team still with 3 hits in this one. Pitching has dominated. There's Victor Martinez.
Tigers have a couple left-handers on their bench that have been somewhat hot. Brennan Bosch, Avila as well. Should Jim want to go that route?
There's Bosch. Had that big game in New York. In the air to center. Not deep at all as Melky Cabrera comes in. And there are 2 outs. Brennan had that 4 RBI game. Hit that majestic home run at Yankee Stadium, coming out, swing of the bat a whole lot better.
He's gotten off to a great start. Looks like he's in a really good place right now. Lots of confidence.
Ball 1 to Rayburn. Ryan is 0 for 2. Hits this one the other way to the second baseman Getz. And Crow comes out of the pen and does just as well as Chen. A 1-2-3 inning. Eighth inning here at the ballpark. Here's our Comerica game summary. Billy Butler extends his hitting streak against the Tigers to 21 straight. Chen was really good, and so was Phil Koke. The difference, 2 runs in the second for the Royals against Koke. And so far it has held up. Robbie Weinhardt goes back to work facing Alcides Escobar. 2 runs, 3 hits. KC. Tigers, no runs, 3 hits. Escobar is 0 for 2, has an RBI tonight, and a bender misses inside 2-0.
They'll throw it right down the middle and let him hit it as far as he can, so Jackson can run it down.
Power, I'm assuming, is not a big part of Mr. Escobar's game.
No, it is not. He's a guy that has some good speed.
Here's the 2-1. 2-2 on Escobar. His ground ball scored a run back in the second. Floater to the second baseman. Will Rhymes, 1 out. So Weinhardt has retired the 2 batters that he has faced. Here's a ball down low. 1 ball and no strikes. A 1-0. Bouncing ball to short. Gatz is out of there, 2 gone. By the way, good luck to the University of Michigan hockey team tonight. They're playing for the NCAA championship against Minnesota Duluth. Red Berenson's team in the finals, so we wish them good luck. Here's Melky Cabrera. There's a strike called. Cabrera's 0 for 3. Weinhardt working quickly. The 0-1 swing and a miss. 0-2. Robbie came on in the 7th, got a ground out. Now a couple of outs here in the 8th. And the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. How about that? A very rapid 1-2-3 8th inning, including a strikeout from Robbie Weinhardt. Let's get the bats going now. Tigers running out of time as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Aaron Crow delivers. Johnny Peralta standing in there. Peralta, Inge, and Wells due up here in the bottom of the 8th. 2-0 Kansas City in this one. Ball low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good firm fastball at 94 from Crow. And he's got some pretty nice tight rotation on his slide piece as well.
1-1. Fouled back out of play. Brandon Inge waiting on deck. Here's the 1-2. Chop foul, third base side. Ooh, Gino couldn't handle it.
He tried to pick it too.
His hands were freezing.
That hurt.
Three Tigers hits in this game. That has been it. Single by Rhymes, single by Wells, double by Ordonez, and Will Rhymes was thrown out at the plate trying to score a run back in the 6th inning. Here's the 2-2. Low, 3-2. Grounded foul.
And Gino wasn't having none of that anymore.
That one was hit a little bit too hard.
He thought about it. And he pulled it back though.
Tim Collins, the southpaw, is warming up. There's a base hit left field.
Good at that. Down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes, and rallied back to hit a seed.
By the way, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Detroit Tigers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Detroit Tigers.
And Ned Yost has that left-hander ready should Jim want a pinch hit. One of his left-handers for Casper Wells.
Inge looks at strike 1. Tying run at the plate now in a 2-0 game in the 8th. Fouled away.
I guess the weather tomorrow's supposed to be about 20 degrees warmer than it is today, right?
Yeah, that's what I hear, near 80.
Well, yeah, all the fans out there listening may as well come down to the ballpark tomorrow. We do like the ratings on TV, though. But it'd be a nice day down here.
The 0-2 is a check swing. No, we didn't go. Well, nothing beats a sunny Sunday afternoon at the ballpark.
It'll be that. Kids opening day.
That's right. Here's the 1-2. Ooh, got him. Strike 3. Inge is out of there.
Nice little slide piece there. Look at the rotation. Tight spin on the ball.
So as you predicted, Brendan Bosch will hit for Casper Wells, and as you also predicted, the left-hander will be coming out of the bullpen. Bosch has been announced. Ned Yost has signaled to the bullpen. And so Collins will become the new pitcher for the Royals.
Well, one of the things that Bosch was good at last year, and Jim knew the left-hander was in that bullpen getting ready. Bosch was very good against left-handed pitching.
Well, you can follow the Tigers with the MLB.com at Bat 11 app for the iPhone, iPad, Android, or your BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and a whole lot more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Tigers.com if you would like more details. Tigers trying to get something going here. They're going to bring some thunder off the bench in Brennan Bosch, and Collins, the diminutive lefty, will take over.
Collins is not real big in stature, but he's got a little Billy Wagner in him. His fastball is in the mid-90s. He's a hard thrower. And there's the proof. He has 6 strikeouts in 4 1/3 innings pitched this year against 1 walk.
They list Collins at 5'7", 163. He's 21 years old at a Worcester, Mass.
You can see why and how he can be tough. And when he's on the rubber, getting prepared to pitch, all you see is number 55, his number. I don't think I've ever seen anybody with a delivery like this. So there's some deception in his delivery. Take a look at it. You see 55, and all of a sudden here comes the ball. And he throws in the mid-90s.
So suffice to say, the ball probably gets on you pretty quick.
It does, because you're not even seeing it. Talk about hiding the baseball. He hides it.
Well, our next April in the D telecast is tomorrow, when the final game of this series against the Royals takes place. Coverage begins at 12:30 with Tigers Live, followed by the game at 1 o'clock. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire tomorrow afternoon right here on Fox Sports Detroit and Fox Sports Detroit HD. There's your pitching matchup tomorrow. Luke Hochaver and Rick Porcello.
Rick pitched 4 really good innings in Baltimore before going out and giving up a few runs in the 5th frame.
So here comes Bosch. 364 this year, including a home run.
He loves to swing at the first pitch. 70-mile-per-hour breaking ball. That is pretty good for a guy that can throw 95 with his fastball.
Again, Collins only 5 feet 7 inches tall. And he misses outside. He even stands on the rubber different than most guys do. Feet spread apart, angled. Two and one.
Well, apparently the game plan for Kansas City Royals pitchers against Brennan is to throw soft stuff, because in yesterday's game he got quite a bit of off-speed pitches.
Outside, Brennan thought about it, man. He was reaching over there. 3 and 1.
Was telling you that left-handers didn't really bother Brennan all that much last year. 337 against left-handed pitching.
He had a rip, fouled it back. Well, the amazing thing about Collins is that he was not drafted at all out of high school. He was signed by J.P. Ricciardi of the Toronto Blue Jays as a free agent.
Well, most guys that are that size, they don't get looked at. I mean, most of the guys that get drafted, pitchers, are all 6'3", 6'5". You can kind of project that those guys will be hard throwers at some point in time. But what great observation by J.P. Ricciardi.
And he started to get noticed in the minor leagues with his huge strikeout numbers. 3-2. Fouled away again by Bosch. Top of the order waiting on deck. That is Austin Jackson. Bosch trying to deliver in a pinch here. With 1 on and 1 out. And he walked him.
What a knockdown. Really good at bat.
So the tying runs are on for Austin Jackson. Royals bullpen coming in had been pretty good this year. And Collins now has some trouble to deal with here. The top of the order with the tying runs on. This is the first at bat the Tigers have had tonight with a man in scoring position. Strike one on Jackson. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Strikeout, fly ball, and a ground out.
Middle infielders playing at double play depth. Outfielders playing Jackson straight up.
Oh, 2. Austin now 1 for 8 in the series. Peralta led off the inning with a single. 1 out later. Bosch walking as a pinch hitter. Swing and a miss, and Collins strikes out Austin Jackson. Huge out. And it's going to leave it up to Will Rhymes.
Straight changeup. Good pitch. You can see the ball in the palm of his hand. Foxmo gave us a great look at that. Almost like a palm ball.
You don't see that pitch much.
No, not the pitch that's all the way in the hands like that. Usually the changeups are in a little bit of the palm of the hand, but you got some fingers that you can really see.
So now here's Rhymes with 2 outs.
But it's the arm speed that sells the pitch. Look at the hand. And that's how you go from 91 miles an hour down to 78 miles an hour, just by the grip that you had on the baseball.
That grip looks like it would be tough to master, or control at least. It's falling behind here 2-0.
Well, Rhymes is a pretty good hitter, and was a pretty good hitter last year against left-handed pitching. I don't know what Rhymes is thinking in this situation, but it's a 2-0 count. Your job is to turn it over to the big boys. Try to get Maglio to the dish with runners in scoring positions, which means it may not be all bad to take one. We'll see.
Robinson Tejeda tuning up. They've gone with Chen and then Crow and now Collins. Here's the 2-0. He had a rip. 2-1 on Will Rhymes. Cleveland's always moving in that dugout. Constantly talking. Rhymes has one of the 4 Tigers hits tonight, a single. Outside, and now it goes to 3-1 with Maglio lurking. If it gets that far, they probably bring Tejeda in. Crowd making some noise. 33,000 plus on hand here tonight. The 3-1 pitch. Fouled away. 3-2 on Will. Tigers now will have the advantage of starting the runners here if Rhymes can find the gap. He'd have a chance to tie this one up. Bosch runs well, the runner at first base. And the 3-2. He walked him, and the bases are loaded. 2 walks for Collins. Ordonez due up. Here comes Ned Yost again.
Tough spot to put Tejeda in. Bases loaded going up against Maglio Ordonez, and the 2 left-handers, Brennan Bosch and Will Rhymes, able to get 3-2 walks from Collins on fastballs missed on the outside part of the plate.
Collins departs after walking a couple of batters. He did strike out Jackson. And Tejeda will come trotting in. And as you mentioned, it's not going to be easy. The bases are loaded. Ordonez coming up. And it's a 2-run game, so the tying run in scoring position at second.
Hey, Tigers fans, it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or to sell the tickets to the games that you can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Detroit Tigers. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
Well, the Tigers fans having some fun now. They haven't had a whole lot to cheer about, but they've got the bases loaded here. And some Maglio fans hoping for a big hit in a big situation here in the 8th. Ordonez is going to bat with the bases full here and 2 outs. And here are the particulars on the new pitcher Robinson Tejeda.
Tejeda's got a good arm. He's got a really good firm fastball in the mid-90s. And he likes to throw his fastball.
Well, when you look at the most career RBIs against the Royals all time, Ordonez falls on that list. And some really good hitters. That's Jackson on that list. That guy's lurking too. Big 2-4. So the heart of the Tigers lineup here hopefully can at least tie this thing up, get them back into the game. Tigers have been down 2-0 since the 2nd inning tonight. Royals pitching has kept Detroit off the board since. And here comes Ordonez.
And here comes the crowd.
7 grand slams in his career. Rally cap for 2. Maglio had a double in the 6th. And he swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Gets the second baseman to the grass, and Tejeda needs 1 pitch to throw some water on the fire. And that's all for the Tigers. They leave them loaded. We go to the 9th.
And that Orioles team is somewhat for real.
Well, the Tigers had a golden opportunity, but they are down 2-0 as we go to the 9th inning. Robbie Weinhardt back on top of the hill now, trying to keep it right here at 2-0. Alex Gordon leads it off. Weinhardt's been a bright spot tonight. He's faced 4 batters and retired all 4 of them as Bosch stays in the game and plays in right field. Pulled, and that goes to right field as Gordon picks up a hit. Leadoff man on here in the 9th.
Don't forget about Gordon on first base. Just about everybody on this team has been running. Billy Butler tried to steal a base earlier in this game, but he was cut down by Martinez.
I know Billy Butler hasn't been in the big leagues very long, but how many career attempts at stolen bases do you think Butler has?
6.
3. Tonight was his 3rd. He's attempted only 3 stolen bases in his career. And he got thrown out. Martinez on a pitch out here, nothing doing. Butler 1 for 3 in his stolen base attempts.
First pitch out of the year called by Jim Leland.
Here's the 1-0. 1-1 on Butler.
Well, Billy Butler hit into a ton of double play balls last year. Double plays, I should say. I believe he led the American League. And if you're Weinhardt, you need to be working at the bottom of the strike zone to see if you can get big Billy Butler to hit into one of those double plays right now.
Certainly would come in handy.
He had like 25, 26. He was way up there.
And now he's behind in the count 1-2.
Got away with a hanging breaking ball right there. Do not throw that same pitch.
He actually last year knocked into 31 double plays.
Oh, whoa.
You were being kind to him.
I was. I knew it was way up there.
Franchise record, by the way. The old record was held by John Wathan, who had 26. That was back in '82.
He was a catcher.
Yeah.
But he could run a little bit.
Wathan could, yeah.
He could run a little bit.
The 1-2. Fouled away. Well, Butler may hit into a lot of double plays, but he's also been a double machine since the start of '09. He's hit 97 two-baggers, and that's more than anybody in big league baseball. There's always this talk about how, well, he's got to hit for more power. Butler says, I just go up there with the same solid approach every time. And that's a fair ball down the line. To third base, Gordon. That ball caroms around. They're going to hold him up. And Butler goes into second with a double.
That's one of them doubles. As a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, Billy Butler had at least 50 doubles. And he had 20 home runs as well. And he was one of only 5 players in the history of the game to accomplish that feat before his 24th birthday. Only 4 others.
Pretty impressive.
Tell you who they are when we come back. Oh, we're going to stay here in pitching change.
Weinhardt is going to be done.
Hank Greenberg is one. Miguel Cabrera also did it. Alex Rodriguez. And Albert Pujols. How about those names?
Oh, wow.
50 doubles or more, 20 or more home runs in a season before their 24th birthday. And big Billy Butler.
We all know about Hank Greenberg here in the Motor City. And we certainly have heard of the other players that you mentioned as well. So Butler now is giving the Royals a chance to extend their lead. It's a 2-0 game here in the 9th inning. And Jim Leyland has gone to the bullpen. Brad Thomas will come in now. Ka'aihuwe will be the first man scheduled to face him.
He's had a rough day.
Yeah, he's glad Koke is out of the game, because Phil struck him out 3 times. Here is Brad Thomas, and here are the numbers that he had last year.
Well, that's why he made the team this year. His earned run average last year was 3.89, and that's not bad. 69 in the 3rd innings. The strikeouts and the walks about even. But he performed in a variety of different roles. He had some spot starts, middle relief, and on occasion he pitched at the back end of the game when he was really needed.
Well, he's on now. By the way, it is time for the Home Depot doing more on defense. Will Rhymes tried to score the Tigers' first run of the game. It happened back in the 6th on a Maglio double. Gordon dug it up. We had a bang play at the plate. Out. Leland argued that the tag was never made, but Andy Fletcher said yes, it was. Our Home Depot doing more on defense.
Fundamentals. Nice job in left by Gordon, getting the ball to Escobar, the shortstop, and shortstop with a nice throw to Pena, the catcher.
So here is Ka'aihuwe, and there's some work to do now with Thomas out there. Infield is in. Tigers now been out hit 5-4. Still nobody out in this inning. And Thomas stays away from him. 1-0. Kilo struck out in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, struck out in the 7th. But he's hitting against a drawn-in infield now.
These situations right here are really the ones that you can measure the success of a reliever when he comes into a game. How many of the other pitchers' runners does he leave stranded? Because if those runs score, they don't show up in Thomas's numbers, but they show up in Weinhardt's numbers.
Way outside. 3 balls and no strikes.
This is not what Jim wanted to see from the left-hander coming in against Keeler, who was already punched out 3 times today. Thomas falling behind, 3 balls, no strikes, in jeopardy of walking.
And he walks him on 4 consecutive pitches. That's going to load the bases. Now Francoeur with the bases loaded, and still nobody out. One for 3 tonight for Francoeur. He singled. Came around to score one of the 2 runs the Royals picked up in the 2nd. And again, the infield's still in. Strike 1. Lifts one high in the air toward left field. Rayburn is on the move, going toward the corner. This will get a run in. Catch is made. Gordon will tag, and he will come around to score. So it's an RBI for Jeff Francoeur, and that makes it 3-0. Francoeur has his 5th RBI. That'll bring up Wilson Betemit. That run is charged to Weinhardt. Benavid walked his last time up. And he swings and misses. Had a big swing there. 2 in the second for the Royals, and now 1 here in the 9th. And what has been a game dominated by the pitching staffs. The 0-1. Ground ball to third. Brandon has it. Fires to second one. There's a double play in the nick of time. 5-4-3. They settle for a run. We go to the bottom of the 9th. 3-0. Last call for the Tigers as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning tonight here at the ballpark in front of better than 33,000 fans. The Royals trying to put this one in the win column. They lead 3-0, and they will bring their closer in. Joaquin Soria will take over now here in the bottom of the 9th.
Kansas City Royals witnessed something the other day that they really have not witnessed a whole lot since Soria became their closer. He blew a save and gave up quite a few runs in doing so. But he is one of your better closers in the American League. Very efficient.
And the first pitch is a strike to Cabrera. They had a 6-3 lead Wednesday over Chicago. Got the first 2 out, then the roof caved in. Cabrera, Martinez, Rayburn.
He can spot his fastball anywhere from 89 to 93 miles an hour. He's got a curveball, he's got a slider, he's got a changeup. He is rare for a closer to have that many pitches at his disposal.
Well, 3 for 4 with a home run against Soria.
He beats up on the best pitchers in the game, does Cabrera. It really doesn't matter to him.
The Royals bullpen 6 1/3 scoreless innings so far in this series.
Ooh.
Swing and a miss.
There's that slow curveball under the speed limit, 67 miles an hour. Just kind of flips it up there and has the uncanny ability to throw that ball for a strike. Foxmo slowed it down even a little bit more for us.
Here's Victor Martinez. In the air toward left, Gordon is cruising over, and 2 quick outs. Royals pitching tonight has racked up 10 strikeouts. hasn't moved tonight, other than to make pitching changes. Hanging out in that front row seat in the dugout. Here's Rayburn. Last chance for the Tigers. Only 4 Detroit hits in this game. Rayburn is 0 for 3. Same 2 teams tomorrow, wrapping up the series, Porcello and Hochevar. Inside, 2-1. He's picked up 11 saves against the Tigers in his career. Fouled back out of play. 2-2 on Rayburn. Soria needs 1 more strike. And the 2-2. Inside, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Soria had to wonder all offseason as to whether he would follow Zach Greinke out of Kansas City. They traded Zach Greinke to the Milwaukee Brewers for 4 really good prospects. And many thought they would trade Soria as well.
Swung on and belted way back into the air and left, and that ball is gone. It cleared the bullpen in left field, and Ryan Rayburn has given the Tigers a run. Crushed that thing. Got loaded on that one.
Three-run spread. He knew he was going to get a fastball. It was tailing into the happy zone, and really good concentration there by Rayburn.
Something for Tigers fans to scream about. They are still alive. 2-run game now. Johnny Peralta standing in. And he skies one to center. Should do it. Cabrera coming in, and the Royals win tonight.
Too much Bruce Chen, who started for the Kansas City Royals and had 7 strikeouts, excuse me.
He was the difference. And the bullpen pretty much did the rest. And so Soria gets the save. We'll be back with more from Comerica Park. Royals win it tonight 3-1.